Hello, hello, hello. It's Joanne Musa, the Tax Lien Lady, and this is Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live, where I get to answer your questions about investing in tax liens or tax deeds. So bring your questions, say hello when you come on, let me know what state you're in, because in order to answer your question, I need to know what state you're investing in. Because tax lien and tax deed investing is different in every state. As a matter of fact, in some states it can be different in every county. All right, or every city. So, depending on how they do tax sales, because in the Northeast, they don't do county tax sales, they do town and city tax sales. Okay, and there's some places that have big cities, even though they might be in states that do have big county sales, they still might have city sales. So there's a lot to know about tax lien investing, but once you know the things that are important, it can be very rewarding. So I do have something that I want to let you guys know about. Tomorrow I am doing the Tax Sale Success Masterclass, 3 things you need to know to be a successful tax lien or redeemable deed investor, or deeds for that matter. So this is the last time we're doing it. We did it last week on Thursday night. We're doing it tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time, which is 12 p.m. Pacific. So even if you're at work tomorrow, maybe you could catch it on your lunch hour. If you're on the West Coast, on the East Coast, it's at 3 p.m. Now, there will not be a replay. I'll be recording it for my own purposes, but I am not going to. And the reason that there is no replay available is because what I'm offering in this masterclass, or what I'm telling you about, is time specific. Okay, because I'm also telling you about what tax sales are coming up, which ones are online. And, if you watch it, if I make the replay available and you watch it at a different time, it's not going to have the right information for you. And not only that, I'm giving you the option of how you could get training from me, which is not going to be available anymore. Okay, so after another week or so. So that is why I am not giving out the replay. But I am giving away a free gift. So if you can come live, register now. And I'm sure Nicole has put plenty of posts on the Facebook page for you to go ahead and register. Okay, we can also put the comment in here. And Nicole, if you're here, you could put the comment now for people to register for the masterclass. And did we get any questions ahead of time? Sometimes we get questions in the group. We have a private investing group, Facebook investing group. It is called Tax Lien Investing Success. And you could find that at facebook.com/groups/tax lien investing success. And it is free to join the group. It's a private group, but it is free to join. You just have to answer some questions and we'll let you into the group. And you might want to get into that group because we may put parts of the masterclass inside the group. Okay, we do things inside the group that we don't do anywhere else. You can also ask questions in the group. And by the way, I do a live tip in that group every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So Nicole, let me know if we have any questions ahead of time, and I hope I am streaming this into the right place. It should be to the Facebook page. I do this on StreamYard. and it gets streamed live to either the Facebook page on Tuesdays, and then on Thursdays when I do the tip, it goes into the group, the Tax Lien Investing Success group. All right, so do we have any questions ahead of time, Nicole? I'm hoping that you're here with me. Let me know. All right, and I already told everybody about the masterclass. That's tomorrow, but there's something else that we're doing on Thursday. We are changing what we provide. Now, if you are in the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator, oh, thank you, Nicole. If you're in the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator, or if you're a coaching client, we are changing the data service that we use to find out what tax sales are coming up around the country and actually look at the properties in the sale. We were using tax sale finders, which is great. I love tax sale finders, but tax sale resources, the people who are, behind tax sale finders, the creators of tax sale finders, they have a more powerful program called Tax Sale Research, and they no longer want to support tax sale finders anymore because they have Tax Sale Research. So we are going to be using Tax Sale Research, and we're doing a demo on that, on how to use it for our current members and coaching clients, because they're going to be switched over to the more powerful Tax Sale Research starting May 1st, I believe. So, and Nicole has put in the registration page, link to the registration page for tomorrow's masterclass. And if the demo that we're doing on Thursday is something, as I said, for members and current clients. We'll be recording that. So if you do any of our courses or coaching, that recording will be available. And that's the demo of the Tax Sale Research, which is what we are going to be using to find out what tax sales are coming up around the country and actually look at the properties in the sale. Something I use, and I show my clients how to use it, how I use it to go through my 7-step process for buying liens and buying profitable liens and making money from them. Okay, now in tomorrow's masterclass, we're going to talk about 5 steps to buying profitable tax liens or tax deeds. Also, the 6 things you need to know before you bid, the 4 mistakes you want to avoid, and the 3 things that you need to be a successful tax lien investor. And guess what? One of those 3 things is you need a way to find out about tax sales and get the tax sale information. That's one of the things that we're going to be using Tax Sale Research for. All right, so Nicole, what questions did we get? I know we had some questions ahead of time. And when you come on, just say hello, let me know where you're coming in from, what state you're in, and give me your questions. But yeah, please say hello so I know who's here. It helps when I know that somebody's here watching. All right, we did have a question, and the question is about buying deeds in Nevada, and that, Diamvar, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, has asked this question, and that he has encountered many liens and judgments pending on the properties that are in the tax sale. And do I know if these liens are wiped out at the tax auctions? Now, here's the thing. Every state is a little bit different, so you have to do your research and find out. But in most states, and I believe this includes Nevada, when you buy at the tax sale, now here in Pennsylvania, we have 2 different tax sales, so it depends on which one you buy at. But in Nevada, there's really only 1 tax deed sale. And most liens, like if there's a mortgage or a mechanic's lien or some kind of judgment on the property, it's going to go away. But any municipal liens, state liens, federal liens, any government liens are going to remain on the property. Okay. Now, in some states, Even homeowners' liens will remain on the property. I don't know. That's the thing I don't know about Nevada. I don't know if those liens remain in Nevada. That's something you could check on, but it's not one of the states that I know of that they do remain. I know in Georgia and South Carolina, they can remain on the property, but in Nevada, I do not know. Okay. Most states, they do not remain on the property, but that is something that is changing as it has changed in Georgia and South Carolina. So, that's something you have to keep in mind and just find out before you actually bid at the sale what survives the tax sale. And that's something that you can ask whoever is doing the tax sale, what survives the tax sale. Now, technically, they're not supposed to give you any legal advice, but they can tell you that, or they could tell you, say, if they don't want to tell you that, just say, okay, where are the state statutes that tell me that? Now, one of the things that my coaching clients and students do is the service that we use to tell us all about tax sales that are coming up all over the country and let us look at the properties. It also gives us links to the state statutes and state information, so that we have that at our fingertips rather. But you can always look it up, right? All right. So, and there's more to the question, and that is about the quiet title action. He says he's tried to contact an attorney about the quiet title action, but they're really not giving a straight answer. They don't tell you. They say it's complicated. They need to search the title, or they even want to do, basically, they want to charge $250. And that is for the title search, because guess what? You have to do a title search. So if you're going to be investing, if you're going to a deed sale, you're actually buying property, right? You're buying property. You need to do your own title search, okay? Or pay somebody else to do the title search. Okay. And then you could give that to the attorney, because that's what they're charging $250 for. All right. And it needs to be done. They need to do that before they can tell you how much the quiet title action is going to be, because it varies by deal. Okay. Some properties need a lot of noticing to do the quiet title action. For instance, let's say somebody died and they have a lot of heirs. Well, all those heirs have to be noticed. Okay. So that's why they can't really give you a price. However, there are companies that do a title clarification process. We just had a webinar with Brenda Flatter of U.S. Tax Deed Solutions, and I forget if Nevada is one of the states that they're in, but if they're not, there's another company that does it nationwide. So this is something, again, that I provide for my coaching clients and my members is, my network of people that do this kind of work. Okay. All right. So we have another question. James is looking for passive income with tax liens. He asks, how do I wholesale a home purchased through a tax deed sale? Basically, you can put it on eBay. You could put it on Craigslist. I think Craigslist is a good way to go. There are also other places like landandfarm.com, Bid for Assets. There's a whole lot of places where you could post it. Okay, where you could post your property. And here's the other thing that you could do. You could go to RIAs, real estate associations that meet locally. And there's people that buy and sell land too. So they're called land banks. There's people that are involved in land banks. So you just have to make connections. Go to these RIAs, go to these real estate meetings, get to meet people. But even if you don't do that, you can, as I said, there are websites that you could post it on, like eBay and Craigslist. I sold investment property without a realtor or anything on Craigslist, or you can use a realtor, but not if you're wholesaling. I wouldn't use a realtor for wholesaling. Okay. But if you're looking for passive income with tax liens, first of all, you don't get the property with tax liens. It's kind of a little bit, the question is a little bit confusing because he's looking for passive income with tax liens, but he's asking, how do I wholesale a home purchased through a tax deed sale? So those are two different things. If you're looking for, liens are more passive because you don't do as much work for liens as you do for deeds. And if you want passive income from liens, Florida is coming up. And with Florida, you don't even foreclose on the property. You do a tax deed application or TDA at the end of the 2-year redemption period. So it is pretty passive. Florida tax lien investing is pretty passive. And if you're looking for cash flow, then a state like Texas is ideal because in Texas, you're considered the owner of the property when you buy it at the tax sale, but the previous owner has a right of redemption. That means that as soon as you get that a deed and have it recorded, you can, even though the previous owner has a right of redemption, you can rent the property out and start collecting rents. If there's a renter living in the property, you can start collecting the rents. You just knock on the door. I'm the new owner. You can pay your rent to me, sort of thing. Okay. All right. So, and again, when you come on, just say hello. Let me know who's here, and give me your questions. Give me your questions. Do we have any more questions that we got ahead of time, Nicole? Okay, and thank you for liking this. Hey, if you know somebody else that can benefit from these sessions, from Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live, then go ahead and share this with them. And if it helps you and you like it, then please like the live. Okay. Hi, Jeanette. You are in Texas. Wow, great. Okay, so you could take advantage of what I just told you, right? For passive income, for cash flow income. And James is asking, can I invest in tax liens remotely? Yes, you can. Yes, I do it all the time for the fund that I invest in. I am the co-CIO for a tax lien investing fund. And I do go to live sales near me, but we also invest in most of our sales are not live, they are online, and they are far away from me. So we do it remotely. Okay. Any other questions? And by the way, that is really what I teach my coaching clients and members how to do, is to do it. We have a training coming up, by the way. I already told you about the masterclass that we're doing tomorrow. Well, in this masterclass, I'm going to let everybody know about the Advanced Tax Lien Investing Secrets training we have coming up. And this is going to be starting May 1st is the first call, but actually April 29th is our first module. What happens is I did this training in January, actually, I think through February, maybe it was the middle of January, or it went through March. It went through February and March. And I think it went from the middle of January to the middle of March. And I thought that was going to be the last time I do this advanced training, because my responsibilities with the fund are becoming greater. So I figured that was the last time I was going to do it. But then we changed the data service that we use. We're going to be using tax sale research instead of tax sale finders. So now I wanted to update the course with the new data service. And guess what? Investing is seasonal in some states. Like this is the season for the Florida and Maryland tax sales. Florida sales happen in May, they end June 1st. Okay, some of them are going to end in the middle of May, and the rest of them will end by June 1st. And that's it. They only happen once a year. Okay, Maryland tax sales happen in May and June, and they only happen one time a year. Right? Some states like Texas have counties that have sales every month, but most states don't do that. They only do it once a year. So now is the time to start with the online tax lien sales, especially if you're interested in Florida or Maryland. Okay. All right. And and I was telling you about the advanced training course. Well, it starts, as I said, the first module is going to be posted Monday. I believe it's the 29th of April. And then that Wednesday, May 1st, is going to be our first coaching call. All right. We have calls for 4 weeks in May and 4 weeks in June. There's 8 modules and there are 8 calls where I take you step by step through how to get profitable tax liens or tax deeds, whatever it is that you want to do of the sales that are going on now. All right. During the training, which again, that is when the Florida and the Maryland tax lien sales will be. And there'll be sales in other states as well. Okay. Okay, Jeanette says she wants to buy tax deeds. Well, I will tell you, in Texas, they're redeemable deeds, but 50% of them do not redeem in Texas. So you do have a chance of getting the property. And Texas is a great state. The trick is knowing where to invest and doing it right. Okay, 2 tricks actually. All right. Jessie Mal from Texas wants to know which in-person tax lien or deed counties or parishes have the best chance for small investors to win deals. This is something that you have to find out, and it's local. It depends on where you are. So here's just a couple of tips. Go to out-of-the-way places, far away from major cities, and get the results of past tax sales. That's how I help my clients find that out. You know, this is something I do with them. You know, this is something I'll be doing inside the advanced training, finding the best places to invest. That's the first thing we do, right? And it depends on where you live. Because here's the thing, I can tell you my favorite places are not going to be your favorite places, because my favorite places are an hour away from my house. And by Jesse's question, it looks like he's talking about Texas, Louisiana, because Louisiana has parishes, not counties. And I don't know what other state he's talking about, because he's talking about liens. But that might be Louisiana. Louisiana does both liens and deeds. I do not recommend the Louisiana liens. I do recommend Louisiana deeds. Okay. And Jeanette is asking, what about buying them prior to the sale? You can't. You can't buy the lien or the deed prior to the sale, or the redeemable deed prior to the sale. Okay. You could buy the property prior to the sale, but then you're stuck with anything that was on the property. So for instance, the property has a mortgage on it. You've got to satisfy any liens that are on the property. You've got to satisfy, and along with the taxes, or it's going to go into the tax sale, right? So does that make sense, Jeanette? And Joseph is asking, how do you handle the money for registration and payment of the costs of the lien or deed? It has to be done by ACH if you're doing the online sales. Online sales must be done by ACH. If you're going to a live sale, most of the live sales I go to do not have a deposit. You just have to pay if you're the successful investor. And most places will give you time to go to the bank and get you need a bank check. So you just have to have a branch close by. Know that you'll be able to get that check. I usually I go do a lot of live tax lien sales in New Jersey. They usually give me an hour to go to the bank and come back. And I just get my check at the bank and come back. And for online sales, you've got to have a bank account that you can do ACH debit from and money wires, because they're going to want the deposit as an ACH debit most of the time. And a lot of the sales require money wire for, if you're a successful investor. So if you're doing this, so I don't know if Joseph is live. This might be something that I got ahead of time. If you're doing this with your self-directed IRA, you need to have checkbook control. If you're doing the online sale, it makes it so much easier. It's really hard to do if you have to request money from your self-directed IRA. You don't know how much money you're going to need. All right. So Jeanette says, I can buy the property and then pay the past due taxes. Yes, you can buy the property and then pay the past due taxes, and you'll get clear title to the property. If you do a closing, you're going to have to pay for that at closing. So it's not like you're going to buy the property and then pay the taxes. You're going to do both at the same time at closing. All right. I suggest if you're doing that you close with an agent, with a title company. All right. And you're going to have to do a title search and make sure there's no other liens or encumbrances that you're going to have to cover when you buy. Okay, what is the best way to find or verify the mortgage or deed of trust information? A title search, if you're closing with a title company, they will do that. They will do that. If you're looking for it yourself, you just got to do your own title search. You can either have a title search done or, and if you're just doing it for the sale, you don't need title insurance because you don't know you're going to get the property. So you just need to search the owner's name in the county records and see what is, what is recorded. If there's anything recorded against the property, but it would be under the property owner's name. Okay. Great questions today. I love it. Any other questions, Nicole? Do we have any other questions? Oh, you're welcome, Jeanette. Thank you for being here. John Smith wants to know if you have any ideas on how to raise the capital needed. How to raise the capital. I do not recommend that you borrow money for tax liens or tax deeds. You don't get paid. You don't know when you're going to get paid, right? So most loans you have to pay on monthly. So two things that I recommend. One is, find a partner that has the money or partners that have the money. You do the legwork and you split the profit. Okay, that's one thing that you can do. The other thing that you can do is save your money. Save your money. I find a really good way to do that is with an infinite banking policy. If you're not in good health and if you're too old, you might not be able to get one, but I'm 65 and I recently just got another policy. I did a 1035 exchange of my existing policy into another one. That is going to accrue more cash faster. And I can borrow the money that's in there. Now, the other way you could get the capital needed, if you have a 401k, you could borrow half the money that's in there up to 50,000 and pay it back in 5 years. If you have a self-directed IRA, you might be able to use that money. Okay, I'm not, that's not my area of expertise. So I'm not the right person to ask about, you know, using money from your IRA. I know that you can, but you need to check with your custodian to see what the rules are for your custodian. Now, there's what you'll need is if you are using money from your IRA, you will need a checkbook control, and you'll need your own EIN number, not your custodian's EIN number. And that the EIN number is easy to get from irs.gov. Okay. But not all custodians allow you to have checkbook control. Okay. So, okay, and Gregory's asking, if you buy a tax deed, does that disqualify you from an FHA loan as a first-time home buyer? Gregory, I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you buy a tax deed, does that disqualify you from an FHA loan as a first-time home buyer? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You would have to ask a mortgage person that. I would, if you do buy a tax deed, I wouldn't buy it in your own name. I would buy it in a company name or a trust. And then you might not have to worry about that. But I would ask a mortgage person about that. Yeah, again, that is not my area of expertise. Mortgages are not my area of expertise. Yeah, but whenever you're buying a deed, then it's time to either put it in an LLC, have an LLC or a trust, right? To buy it in a trust. When you're buying liens, I don't recommend using an LLC. I mean, you can use an LLC, but some people wait until they have an LLC. And here's the thing, some states, it's tougher to do it in an entity for liens than it is in your own personal name, and you're not owning the property, so you really don't have to do it in an entity. I've invested, right now I just invest for the fund that I'm a CIO for, but so I don't invest for myself anymore. But when I invested for myself, I invested in my name, my husband's name, my business name, the LLC, a trust, a partnership, all kinds of things. So don't let not having an LLC stop you from just going ahead and buying liens. However, buying deeds is a different matter. You're actually buying the property and you have some liability there, right? So you might want to put it in an entity, depending on where you live. Like in the state of California, you're not going to want to have an LLC because that's a lot of money. In some states, an LLC just is a lot of money, but you could have a trust, you could have partnership, and that is a question, by the way, again, that is not my area of expertise. I can only tell you like my experience, but that's a question for a CPA or, in your state, like what's the best entity to set up for that? Or even a real estate investor in your state might know the answer to that. Okay, because every state is going to be different. Like my state, it's really easy to set up an LLC and it doesn't cost you much. So if I was buying deeds here in Pennsylvania, I would just do an LLC or a trust, either one. Okay. Have we answered all the questions today, Nicole? Or do we have any more? And thank you, Gregory, for your question. Jeanette, thank you. I love to have people watching. Can you set it up out of state for all deed states? It depends. There are some states where you, Tennessee, for example, if you own property in Tennessee, you have to have an agent in Tennessee. Okay. That's the only state I know of that you have to have an agent in that state if you own property in that state. most states for deeds, they don't care. They want your money. They just want to turn that property over to somebody that's going to pay the taxes. Okay. For liens, it's a different story. If you're buying in an LLC, a lot of states want you to register your LLC to do business in that state, even though you're not buying the property, you're just buying liens. Indiana is going to do that. Illinois is going to do that. But some states don't care. They just want your money, like Arizona doesn't care, Florida, New Jersey. I'm not sure about Colorado. Okay, but most of the states that have been online for a long time, they don't care. Okay. And that's all the questions that we got ahead of time. So thank you guys for watching and being here live. And for those of you who watch the replay, thank you for watching the replay. And bring your questions next time. Come here live next time, bring your questions. We're here Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on the business page at facebook.com/tax lien investing tips, and Thursday at 12 p.m. we do a tip inside the group, the Facebook, our private Facebook group. It's free to join the group. Nicole, I think you already put the link to the group in the comments. But you could always put that in again for everybody if anybody wants to join the Facebook group. Oh, and Nicole has also put in the link to register for our tax sale success webinar, or it's a masterclass that we're doing tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern time. I already talked about it at the beginning of this call. So if you missed the beginning of this live, just watch the replay as soon as it's done and you'll find out what we're going to do tomorrow. It's an hour and a half training, and I give more information for free than most people charge for, than you'll get in a weekend. I mean, you go to these weekend things, and I think you'll learn more from me in an hour and a half than you will. But don't take my word for it. Let me know. Come tomorrow and let me know if you think so or not. Okay. All right. I will see you there. Thank you so much, Nicole, for your support. And thank you, everybody, for being here and bringing your questions with you. I will see you next time.